Hello and welcome to 10 Very Big Books, a Malazan Readthrough podcast. My name is Peter. I've read every book of the main series. I gotta take it again.
Yeah, that was so bad.
Hello and welcome to 10 Very Big Books, a Malazan... Okay.
I'm sorry. I was ready for India to come for your fucking throat.
I messed up one thing. And here's the thing. I stopped for a good reason, okay? And now that was the intro. We're in the show now, okay? I stopped for a good reason because sometimes people are like, oh, Peter, you shouldn't say it's the main books. You know, it's like, that's like, there's a lot of different books. But it's like, that's the intro for the show. So every time I say it, some part of me pings and it's like, but I didn't know you were going to attack me for that, India, okay?
To be fair, I wasn't attacking you for that. I was attacking you for the misspeak that you did in the middle.
All right, here we go. We're still on the show, but let me know. I just wanted to do this right for India. Hello, and welcome to 10 Very Big Books, a Malazan Readthrough podcast. My name is Peter Bond. I've read every book of the main series, and with me today is my friend and closest confidant, India Jones.
That was much better, and it is so great to see you.
Great to see you too, Inge. Our producer, AJ Fileri.
Hello.
How are the levels, the bars?
Whoa, pardon me. They're good. I burped because I'm drinking a soda.
What type of soda are you drinking?
My partner Tara's been into these prebiotic sodas called Poppies.
Oh my god,
They're really good.
I tried it and I was so excited and then I absolutely despised it.
Ooh, which flavor did you have, Josh Baker, the third host of the show?
Actually, you know what? It was a cherry Olipop. I take it back.
Oh,
it wasn't
Olipop
that, it was an Olipop. It was bad.
Olipop's a fart. Poppy is so much better.
Very chicory heavy.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
I have poppy
Alternative
cherry
sodas.
vanilla flavor.
I feel completely insane right now. What?
Peter, you're not up to date on your probiotic soda game?
Probiotic sodas.
No, this one is prebiotic. It says pre on it.
Okay, I just feel like the most country girl I've ever been in my life. What's going on in the big city that there's some new sodas that are apparently probiotic, and I've never even fucking heard of them? Okay?
AJ is also a country girl now and
I am a country girl.
literally has this soda, so you have no excuses. Prebiotic soda.
That's true. My local grocery store sells this.
Yeah.
So.
Also, Peter, I'm literally one of the most country people you know.
AJ moves to a town with a grocery store closer to them than when they lived in Philadelphia. And all of a sudden, they're like, my local grocery store. I have heard about this grocery store almost every time I have gotten on the phone with AJ.
Is this true?
AJ's like, oh, we were just down at the grocer. It is like their new fucking favorite place. So God bless.
You called me one time when I was shopping. That's
At your local grocery store.
and you know
more
what?
than that,
we were in the
AJ.
Poppy.
It's
We were
more
in the
than
aisle
that.
with Poppy. Anyway, should we talk about what you wanted to talk about at the top of the show?
Yes, we have an important announcement to make. Yeah, great point, AJ. Thank you, as always, our producer, keeping us on track. A very exciting time. Congrats to my co-host. Thank you for listening. That is right. We are on the Crippled God Part 1.
Woo!
Woo!
We are getting ready to wrap things up here for our read through of the Malazan Book of the Fallen, which, as you can imagine, many years in the making. We are quite excited, and we want to wrap things up with a bang. So this summer 2023, we are going to be hosting the Malazan Stream of the Fallen, kind of an epic live stream event. So what we're going to try and have, we're going to stream for about 10 hours to celebrate the ending of our read through of these 10 very big books. We're going to have guests, we're going to play games, and we're going to raise money for a good cause. So more details will come, and you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and find out more about what's going on. But I'm really excited to share what we've been working on. We've got a lot of different people involved, and we think it's going to be a pretty cool time. So we really hope you tune in. That's going to be this summer.
Yeah, a lot of irons in the fire, as it were. Cold iron, hot iron, blue iron. They're all in the fire.
I didn't like it. I didn't.
All right, AJ, that was great. That was great pitch for the copy. Great promotional pitch. I love you had a little Malazan. You tied it in. Let's go to India. What is do you have a Malazan-based copy for us?
What?
Okay, I'm going to flip it to Josh. Malazan promo. You got it.
Yeah, hold on, give me 10 seconds.
Everyone take a sec.
Give me 10 seconds.
Yeah, I was so unprepared. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
That is
Okay,
the quietest we have ever been on a call, and it was so unsettling.
Okay, who wants to go first? I don't think mine's very good.
Mine's not good either. I'll go though. Listen, what's up, streamers? Toll those like buttons.
Okay.
Smash. I can only use the word toll. That's the only verb of like any of the titles. So I'm out.
Smash your body parts into the the subscribe.
Yeah.
I was gonna go with this stream is gonna have you thinking Tisty Eater, but more like give me Mador. I don't know. It fell apart. It made sense in my head.
What even was the
Wow.
second half of that supposed to be?
I thought more rhymed with eater, but they don't rhyme. They, in fact,
do not rhyme.
all right, India, save us.
Taking it home with, I thought my favorite memories were of ice, but it turns out it was of the Stream of the Fallen.
There you go.
There. Okay. Okay.
All right, that was good. All right,
That was coherent at least.
Yeah, it was a sentence.
Fuck you guys!
No, we're saying ours
No,
were
that's a
bad,
compliment.
India.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say I took the easy way out because the cold iron hot iron thing is like the easiest thing that you could take. I think.
Guys, I really think next episode we roll it back, we try again.
Okay.
Next
Okay,
I'm
episode
down.
we roll it back, we try again.
we're definitely going to keep promoting, so let's all take a tea on that, and we'll kind of circle back next ep. So that's going to be this summer, everyone. I hope you tune in. It's going to be an exciting way to wrap up the series. Anyway, on to today's episode at hand. We will be, we all have cracked into the final volume, which is even bizarre to say. Here we are, book 10, and I'm really excited to get into it. We're going to be talking about chapters 1 and 2 today. Yes, India?
We're gonna raise the roof on this dead house.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Gates.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna make one for every fucking book title. Anyway, go ahead.
We're gonna need lots of user mail.
Okay.
We'd love to see a sea of viewers. Mail, God of the Sea.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hated that. I hated that one.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I'm out. I'm
not brave enough to try.
Thank you for being honest.
Listen, before we get into the episode, I did want to just quick ask ahead of time, Josh, is there something you're looking forward to in the Crippled God, this final chapter? Is there like a storyline you're interested in seeing? Is there a character you're really interested in seeing how it all wraps up? You know, we're kind of looking down the barrel of the end of this whole saga.
Okay. Well, couple things. One, I actually am really excited for to see if anything comes of Kalam being saved. That's a character that I frequently wonder what has happened to. Excited for that. And I'm curious to see how this book ends because I've spent 9 books thinking this series would never end. And honestly, the thought that it will is weird to me. So we'll see how he sticks the landing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting stuff. Inge, is there something you're kind of excited to see this time round?
I'm looking forward to Justice for Felison. Tavor, look what you've done. Looking forward to that, hopefully. If not, really probably something with Lestara ending up kind of being, I don't know, the queen. I'm obsessed with her.
All right, then I'll come to AJ. What do you got?
Curious to see if we're ever going to really find out what Shadowthorn and Cotillion are like trying to do in this book. Obviously curious to see, I guess, why this book is called The Crippled God, you know, because it seems like there's a lot of other stuff happening. So why The Crippled God? But mostly, I think I'm really curious to find out how many of the storylines from the last 9 books aren't wrapped up here.
Yes.
Implying that they are wrapped up in other books. I'm just really curious which ones are like, oh, well, these are in the novels of the Malazan Empire, or like how satisfied will I feel like not knowing what happens to, I don't know, whoever. I don't really know who's in any of the other books. Malik Rel, for example. We don't get the conclusion of Malik Rel's thing because he's got his whole own book. So,
well, I'm really excited to revisit this book with you guys, and I'm also glad we could announce the Malazan Stream of the Fall in this summer. I think we all hope that you Gardens of the Moon Inn.
No.
Okay, like Gardens of the Tune, like Tune. Like Tune In?
Like Tune.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of something that rhymed with Tune.
It was a slant rhyme, huh?
It's called rhyming slang, Josh.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We're just falling to the basest form of, anything. It's fine.
Okay.
Shakespeare's rolling in his grave. It's whatever.
We really need to get into the episode.
Okay. I'm going to read the chapter summary now that Josh has successfully belittled me on the podcast.
I'm just thinking, yeah. Maybe we commit to doing the whole 10-hour stream in iambic pentameter,
Josh, we're already doing 10 hours. That's already a big ask,
If you're a coward, it's fine.
All right, let's get into it. Chapter 1, baby. Chapter 1. Cotillion speaks with Edgewalker about his plans. Edgewalker says he will fail, which Cotillion is fine with, as long as he doesn't lose. The Forkal assail Calm walks with chains of bones following behind her. The Forkal assail are feeding on the heart of the Crippled God. Far away, we see the Tiste Leosian. Khadgar Fant tells Aperol Forge that their god has failed them. They speak about war, what they owe their father, and their god's absence. Khadgar threatens Aperol for his doubts. Another Leosian joins them, Iparath Rule. The dragon Kesoban is staked nearby, and they are drinking his blood. Father Light kneels useless and blind. The Crippled God speaks. He has answered prayers where other gods have not. Cotillion looks on to 3 chained dragons, Eloth, Kaus, and Ampelus. He speaks with Edgewalker about the dragons. Eloth speaks about freedoms and dreams. After bargaining with the dragons, Cotillion tells him how it must be. Mael and Krull speak. They speak of Alar Athiel's plan and tool. They discuss the power of the Bone Hunters, and they decide to witness Tavor and her army. Udanas reflects on Kettle's death. Kalava has lost track of Rud Alal and Siltish Ruin, and wonders if they are dead. But Udanas doesn't believe them. Everybody is considering leaving the refugium and finding a place in the real world. They want Udanas to find them a safe place to live. Calm finds Akarium weak and unconscious. She chains him with her bones, keeping him in case she needs him. Perrin's host is besieged. Perrin speaks with Noto Boil about their defense, children, and the battlements. Far away in Getabacchus, we see Karsa and Samar Dev. We also see Namander trying to rule in Black Coral. Perrin meets Shadowthrone. They speak about the siege and what's coming. They make a wager, and then Perrin speaks about his faith in his sister. AJ, that I did have something I wanted to ask you in the intro, but I think we should circle around to it and get into the chapter discussion. But before I ask you the real question, I did want to just say, India must love Diet Pepsi. She was cracking open that Diet Pepsi, holding it straight to the camera. Okay, this girl knows how to do a promotion.
I literally love Diet Pepsi.
That's right. Get her a brand deal, okay?
We're sponsored by various types of soda today.
Yeah, a lot of soda talk on the pod. So AJ, this whole cotillion conversation, did you make something out of it? What do you think he's talking? What's he up to? Okay, it feels.
I don't know.
What's he
I don't
getting
know.
at?
I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Do you feel smart now that you've forced me to say I don't know what's going on?
Okay, what do you think might be going on?
Plans, dude. We see Cotillion talk to the dragons later. That's pretty interesting. I'm really interested in it. I'm really interested in what's going on with Cotillion and Edgewalker. But what's going on? You know, who's to say?
Josh, India, do you have any read about what's going on with their plan?
Yeah, I know what he's doing, but I feel like for the sake of the story, I should just, not tell anybody. I feel pretty good about it.
Josh,
I actually, yeah.
I also know, and I think I'm not going to tell AJ for the sake of the story.
Yeah, that feels like the right choice. Andy and I were
Honestly.
texting about it because we had the same theory.
Literally. AJ, it's so funny though that you don't know.
It's cute. It's cute.
I try to remain humble on this show and just like show my ass whenever I can. So.
Well, and the thing is like there's a lot of people that relate to that. Like a lot of people don't get what's going on.
You're
Right.
in every man. You're in every person, AJ.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I actually think people like it when someone doesn't know what's going on in the show.
Yeah.
So relatable.
It's
AJ
really-
is the people's person.
How do the three of you feel about everything that's going on? Are you looking forward to it?
Look, I'll just say it's a bold move. We'll see if it pays off.
I agree. I also think that, things could go wrong, but at the end of the day, this plan is foolproof.
Yeah. I like looking back through the series, the signs were there.
It's all laid out for you.
It's really kind of obvious. And, that's kind of what's awesome about the reread is that the whole time you're like, oh, it makes so much sense,
Now, Pete, I can't tell if you're doing a bit or not. I can't tell if you do remember what they're doing or if you forget and you still don't know.
I have no comment, but
Okay.
I will say how do you do ya and a cup of tea? India. So the 4 Krolla sale.
What the fuck?
Okay.
How do you do?
We meet the 4 Krolla sale, okay?
Yes. Calm.
Calm. She's back. And we kind of see what
right? We've met Calm before.
you have met Calm before.
Yes.
in the streets of
No.
no.
In House of Chains, she's the one that Karsa and friends
Karsa
free.
fights. Okay,
She beats up.
I knew it was either that one or the one we met in Lethris.
Saying
Okay.
Karsa fights her is really generous because she destroys them.
I will.
Yeah, she turns that. Yeah,
I will give 1 point to whoever can tell me the name of Karsa's friends.
one of them starts with a B,
And one of
I
them
am
starts with a
positive.
D.
I also
A D, yeah, it's a B and a D.
Denim?
No.
Baron?
It's really
Baron?
You're really close.
It's something like Baron Torm.
Karsa's friends.
Oh, didn't
Barrett-
he kill his friends?
No, his friends
No, he
die.
absorbed their souls into the sword.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
And then they were his little ghosts.
Yes, you're thinking of Delim Thord
Okay.
and Baroth Guild.
Okay.
Look, that was really good,
Pretty
guys. You
close.
guys were so close.
We kind of had the
We were
sounds.
really there.
I think we should all get half a point and then abolish
okay.
points as a system.
To be fair, I get 0 points. There was nothing, not a thought in this head.
Okay, so back to the question at hand. Inge, we kind of meet the 4 Krolla sale. Number 1, were you expecting to meet them? Number 2, what were your impressions of them and seeing what they're up to?
No, I wasn't expecting to meet them, but I'm never expecting to meet anyone, so that doesn't mean anything. And then what were my impressions? I like Calm a lot, honestly. I think I don't know. I always have like a chill POV, and also not to. I don't know if we want to do it all now, but like finding a Carium was weird, and I kind of like a Carium, so
Yeah, let's just talk about that too. So what did you mean by that?
like. I don't remember the last thing that happened to Akarium, but I thought that he was fine.
No, you may recall at the end of Dust of Dreams in the big battle, he kind of expended himself.
Yeah, his Skykeep gets
But he's not fine. Like he
blasted.
died. Like he's like dying.
He used a lot of his energy, I guess.
Okay. All right. So now Akarium just doesn't know who he is anymore, as per usual.
As per usual, afterwards he's quite unsure.
Same old, yeah. So for me then, because I was like, what? Like, how does this always fucking happen to this guy? I don't know. I'm intrigued to see what happens like with that storyline. But
Well, let me follow up on that because so we're seeing more of the Forkula Sail here. And of course, before we've encountered Calm, but that usually we're spending time with individual Forkula Sail, or we're seeing them almost as they are foes to our heroes. We're here and throughout some of the stuff in Dust of Dreams as well, we've seen a bit more about Forkula Sail, this land, their people, and in this chapter, we're just starting to see them more as an elder race and started learning a little bit more about their culture and what their life has like been in this region. So I wonder what your impressions are more about the Forkula Sail as a larger whole, since we're seeing a bit more of them here.
well, I think about these Forkula Sail with they're the many-limbed, scary giant things. Yeah,
Many joints.
Terrifying. Absolutely fucking horrifying. So, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm kind of interested. As far as like the most interesting races that I've read about, I do think that they are kind of the most interesting just because they're like, not like, oh, we're prehistoric. We bang on drum and have sex when angry. You know, kind of like the Barghast and everything else.
Okay.
So I think that they're like kind of like, yes, they're fucking weird and like strange, but that's only because I know what they look like. If I didn't, I'd be like, they're kind of like, I'm thinking of a specific word. They're very, it's not what you're going to think of at all. It's dark academia.
Dark academia.
Okay.
Oh my god, I love that. I love that
Interesting.
aesthetic so much.
Wow. Dark Academia Forkula Sail. Was not expecting that and love that pull, to be honest.
I now
you.
have a very different image in my head of the Forkula Sail.
Okay, what was your image
Yeah.
before?
Well, the image before was just like these like pale kind of weird look. They're blue for some reason. Weird kind of lanky, multi-limbed dudes just like hanging out in a desert. But now we're saying dark academia. It's a library. It's raining. You know, the only light is the moonlight. We're reading books. We've got maybe little glasses on, maybe a cup of tea or something. Very different vibes.
Oh, what's that? The tea's a little far away.
Yeah, let me just
Breaks arm.
undo
Yeah.
my second, third elbow.
Ew.
AJ, Josh, anything to add into the Forkula Sail talk, or specifically the scenes with Calm and her imprisoning Ikariam?
My only thought is like, it feels weird to me that, not weird, I guess, but this is like the final of the Elder Races, and it is interesting to me that it's not till book 10 that we're really getting a strong POV of them, and it really feels like they are being set up as like the end game villains. And if they do end up being the end game villains, I'm kind of bummed that we are literally like only just now seeing more than one of them at a time, really.
Interesting.
Also, can I real quick say, more than I think any other race, I feel like I have a very terrible perception of the power scaling of Forkula Sail, because like one of them destroys Karsa, one of them gets sliced to ribbons by the Watch. Like, I don't understand how those two things can be true of the same race, unless Calm is like an absolute crazy badass.
Or the Watch is an absolute crazy badass.
Or the Watch absolutely fucks. I don't know which of the two it is.
I think it's that one.
Well, I don't think the Watch fucks much, let the record show, but
Yeah. More into he's more into voyeuristic stuff, you know. Thus the name.
oh my god. Josh, AJ, did you have anything to add about the Forkula Sail?
If I'm being honest, everything Josh said left my brain when he said he's more into voyeurism.
Great. Then why don't you tell me about it? Okay.
Well, I do think it is neat to see Calm again specifically, but to get this, you know, deeper look at the Forkula Sail. I think it's always interesting when we get deeper looks at the other cultures, species, whatever, in the universe. But I think to Josh's point of like, it's kind of disappointing that we don't. It's kind of disappointing that we're only just meeting them now. There's only 12 of them, apparently.
Is that what he said, right?
Yeah,
There's like, no, but there's more. There's 12 here, right? Because we're led to believe there's like a whole
12 pures remained feeding. 12. Perhaps there were others lost in far-flung places, but she knew nothing of them.
Oh, right. That is what they said. Because we there's the Forkula Sail that supposedly assaulted the whole fucking kingdom of Calance, and we weren't really led to believe that there were only a handful of them. It seemed to me like there were way more.
Yeah, but I think that might be, again, a power scaling thing. They are just so fucked up strong and
Maybe,
scary
yeah.
that
Or maybe Calm is a pureblood, and that's why the rest haven't been as powerful because they aren't purebloods.
Yeah,
that could be
maybe
it too.
Maybe. Yeah, it is. It does say 12 pures, so maybe that's something. But it is interesting that they're feeding on the crippled god, I guess. But I do agree with Josh. I think that it's kind of just introducing this like final race to be like, okay, they are the villains. Let's go. But
before anyone yells at us, we know they're not introduced right now. We know we've learned about the fucking 4 elder races since book whatever.
Yes. I do think it's interesting that there's this whole passage about the first word of sentience being justice. And so that's like how the Fork or Lasalle function, I suppose. And so they see everything they do as an act of justice, as an act of like peacekeeping. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I believe there's so much justice talk in this book. I won't say the quote. I actually forget when it is. So, but thank you both for sharing your thoughts about these introductions, a bit more of the Fork of LaSalle. Josh, I'd be curious, and likewise, we know it's not introductions, but it's introduction to this book. We do really see a lot more of Tista Leosian, who we have not seen in a really long time.
Yeah.
So what did you make of this scene with the Leosian?
Okay, well, I'll say this. Was not expecting a full-blown Tisty Leosian arc in this book, and was also, like, I know we've not met great ones, but was not expecting them to be so, like, overtly fucked up. These are the guys who were, like, hanging people from the walls, right? Yeah, like dead people from the... Yeah. Was not really ready for that. And honestly, I should have reread this. I fucking hate this podcast. You know why? Because you put something in a certain way, and then I'm like, I was meant to read it in this way, and now I feel like I should go back and do that. But I feel like you're supposed to really draw a parallel here between them and the Tisty Andy and their reactions to their gods leaving them, and how their leaders took that, and how the Tisty Andy sort of have relied upon Animator Rake forever and had this unflinching faith in him, and then the fucking Tisty Leosian are the opposite, it feels like. And I feel like there's probably some deeper thing I was supposed to get out of that.
Well, I mean, light and darkness, Josh. They are opposites.
Light and darkness. Yeah.
Your cat is losing it.
Clyde.
It's so funny.
Clyde, buddy.
India, how did you feel about the Leosian scene?
I don't like the Tisty Leosian. I just don't feel like there's like I didn't like the scene because I don't like things I don't understand.
Then
that's not true. I take that back. In relation to this book, I don't like things I don't understand.
All right.
What's the point? What's the point? Like, what is the point?
I guess we'll see, Inge. I guess we'll see.
Opposites, you know?
I do want to move on to the really cool section with the Crippled God, but I first just wanted to ask everyone, what Tisty are you, Andy, Eater, or Leosian?
Eater.
I'm Tisty Andy.
I'm also Tisty Andy, I'm sorry to say.
Damn.
Wait, well, which one is the black one?
Andy.
I'm that
Andy.
one.
Well, the Andy's the darkest.
Yeah.
You guys aren't that.
Sorry, we talking complexion? Sorry.
Leosian,
Tisty Leosian. Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm Tisty Leosian now. This sucks.
I feel very Tisty Andy. I really grok with this whole
but we don't know much. Maybe there's a wide range of complexions within the Tisty.
We literally do know. Shut up.
That's not true, because the blue rows are... Okay, we can't get into this again.
Anywho.
I'm sorry, I take it back.
I feel like, fatalism. It's a great way to be. Really there for it.
Isn't Corlat Tisty Andy?
Yes.
Yes.
Corlat's my favorite. So, yeah.
AJ, how cool is the Crippled God section?
It's cool. I mean, it's just an
I
entire...
thought you would love it. In my mind, it's like AJ's gonna love this for sure.
No, I mean, I did. I mean, it's cool. I always love to get in heads. You know, I love when somebody's just like, here, let me just speak for 2 full pages. It's fun. It's fun to read. He says some cool stuff about, bargains and prayer and pity and all this. But if I'm being honest with you, it is we are just kind of repeating kind of some talking points again, of like, well, I give the people the things that the other gods won't give their people, and that's why people like me. Like, I feel like we've had this conversation before.
He's giving very much Ursula.
Big
Yes.
Ursula energy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why are you so hot on it, Pete?
I feel like imagining Kamensad as Ursula is quite a fun little trip for me. I don't know. I just think it's it's interesting to see it from his point of view. And then it's interesting to see him positioning himself as like a giver. and talking about giving to those people who are unanswered to these other places. I don't know. And I totally agree with your point that a lot of this has been touched upon elsewhere. But I really like at the end when he's turning his monologue on the reader, so to speak, and is like, hey, like, what the fuck have you ever done? Fuck you. You know what I mean? That type of energy. I'm paraphrasing him there, but you know what I'm talking about.
That is all faith is, pity for our souls. Ask my servant and he will tell you. God looks into your eyes and God cringes. Is that what you're talking about?
That's a good line. That's not what I was talking about, but still a good line.
I do like the death. Since when is death failure? I like that. I like the ideas in this chapter around winning and losing and like, can you even win in certain things? And like, is it possible to lose in other things? I don't know. I thought that was it was kind of an interesting through line for this chapter. Seeing it all written out in the summary, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of talk of that in here. Yeah,
that's a nice pickup, Hodge.
Thanks.
I do want to move on to the Odana stuff, but AJ, did you have anything to say about that Mail or Kroll stuff?
No, I mean, I think it's interesting to call back to that big speech that Tavor gave, however many fucking books ago. I don't really remember the speech. I remember being like, wow, what a speech. And then I remember the phrase unwitnessed, but I don't remember anything else about the speech. But I think it's kind of weird at the end of this section that it feels like Mail kind of puts tries to put a fine point on what it means to be unwitnessed. And I'm not sure if I like that or not. He says, perhaps that is why she wishes them to remain unwitnessed in all that they do. Krull says, what do you mean? And he says, she doesn't want the rest of the world to be reminded of what they once were. And that's immediately following Mail talking about like, oh, well, they used to be from the Malazan Empire, then they were the bridge burners, and then they were the bone hunters. And it feels kind of, I don't know. I don't know if I think I would have rather it be left as like a kind of blob of an idea instead of Mail saying like, here's what I think she means, because now that's like in my head. And I don't know, it's kind of lame, I guess, because it is just so like, I don't know. It just doesn't really strike me, I think, as much as it would have if it was like this kind of amorphous idea. You know what I mean?
Is this book, because it's like, I feel like this book is going to have a lot of like nods to past books is what I'm
lot of stuff. And I want, if you can, when it happens, to point it out, because like I definitely don't realize it until you say it, and then it's like, oh okay, it's already, but it's hard enough to like think back to, well, first, that's like impossible to like think back to that and then remember from the past books, just because like it felt like treading water for so long, the first couple. So it's just interesting now to like see these like quote unquote nods to the last couple of novels.
Yeah, like acknowledgement that they happened. Yeah.
All right, can I just read, and then we really should move on, but AJ, I totally agreed with what you said, and I just wanted to share kind of something that this passage made me think about. So the line is this: Mail and Krull are talking, and it says, this is page 35 in the mass market paperback. He looked down at Krull. The Malazan Empire conjured them out of nothing. Dassam's first sword, the bridge burners, and now the bone hunters. What can I tell you? It's as if they were born of another age, a golden age lost to the past. And the thing is, they don't even know it, period. And what stands out to me about this section is sometimes I feel like I speak with readers, and other readers feel like the series doesn't valorize or glorify the Malazan Empire. And obviously it does to an extent. But I feel that these two elder gods having this conversation, why would Mail have that opinion? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really make sense to me why Mail would have a positive opinion of the Empire and call it that the bridge burners coming up during Imperial Malazan conquest was a golden age. Do you know what I mean? That's such a baffling turn of phrase to me. And it's so strange for me to have I feel for Mail to be valorizing the past there in really a book and series that really plays with the idea that there would be a golden age when it was really cool that the guys did all this stuff. Do you mean? I don't know. I guess I've always felt that the series does really make that era of Malazan conquest, or like this rising of the bridge burners or the spreading of the Malazan Empire, whatever it is into like a kind of lost golden age. Do you know what I mean? And I guess that confuses me, and I wonder what these characters view as positive about that time period. Because from my end, I feel like it seems pretty bad. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna guess Imperial Conquest was pretty bad. But I don't know. So it's just I knew exactly what line you were talking about, HA, because that stood out to me and completely baffled me about why Mael would think that.
Yeah, it is interesting in the context of Mael being an elder god. I think it makes it gets a little less weird when you think about Mael as like Bug, as a person who has lived in a city and stuff or whatever, like among humanity or whatever you want to call it. But I do think it is interesting that like Mael is putting this virtue on like a certain type of civilization, and that he even really has an opinion on it in some ways. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't know. I get what you're saying, and I think I don't know, thinking about it more, I guess like that's kind of where I end up is like, I don't know, I guess like why does Mael see this value in humanity or this type of civilization or empire or whatever as an elder god, but I guess we've seen other elder gods who really don't give a shit, so Mael is just like a guy that does give a shit.
Yeah, sorry, thank you for indulging me on that, AJ. Your point just reminded me of that. So
sure,
let's shuffle on. We really bit off more than we could chew there. Josh, India, who's interested in speaking about this Refugium Udana scene? Either you moved by it, intrigued by it?
Yeah, I'll say. I guess what I would say is it's an interesting collection of people here in a very interesting situation, and but when I say interesting, what I mean is we only have the one book left, and so I feel like I am really putting every section of every chapter, every plot line, I'm putting it under a magnifying glass because Steve has not let me down so far, and I'm constantly like, how does this lead to the end game of this book? And in this case, all I can imagine is that Udanas and Kilava are relatively important people, so maybe they have to end up somewhere, and therefore this pocket dimension that was supposed to always be safe can't be safe anymore. And so I don't really have any thoughts on it other than it better lead somewhere, because otherwise this book could have been shorter.
Interesting. Well, thanks for sharing that, Josh. I do want to move on to the end. And India, there's actually, quite a long time no see. 3 characters we have not seen in a minute. First,
oh my God,
we meet up with Ganos Perrin. We see Karsa Orlong and Samar Dev, and we also see Namander and Black Coral. Which one of these, who were you most excited to see? And tell me a little bit about what you thought.
Obviously Karsa and Samardev. But, because I hate Namander and I think the parent's a big baby. But it was nice to see Karsa and Samar. I think that they're funny. It was a cute little...
Yeah, it's just a little like, hey, we're back.
Little palate cleanser, little light convo with them. Nothing too like thought-provoking or like, I gotta think about this. So, loved it. And I love them.
That's awesome. AJ,
can I jump in?
Okay,
can I just jump in? I'm a little upset because you said 3 characters. You just gonna skip past Noto Boil?
Josh, I'm so glad you bring it up. I read this chapter and I'm like, is Noto Boil my favorite character?
He's the fucking best. Is what he is.
Is he the best character in the whole series?
Yes, 100%. He's like the teeth thing guy, right?
Yeah, with the fishbone.
He's got the fishbone and the teeth. I love him.
Love him so
also,
much.
It was 4 characters. Karsa and Samar Dev are 2 different characters, Yeah. And then Namander and Perrin.
Peter counts all couples as one person. We all know.
As it should be.
As it should be, yeah.
Sorry.
I forget what that chapter is from the point of view of. It's probably from Samar's point of view?
I don't believe... Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's always from Samar's point of view.
It's always, yeah.
Josh, checking in with you. So you mentioned Noto Boil. Tell me what you thought about the whole Perrin thing.
Oh, Peter, love a siege in a warren that I don't know where we are or who the enemy is or why we're defending what we're defending. Oh, you could not have me more entranced, Steven. Let's go. Why are they fighting children? Oh, what's that? They're not fighting children. It's the Forkerless Sail. We had to remember that they called them children. Fucking weird. Why are the Forkerless Sail here sending waves upon people? I don't know. Why is Perrin so fucking hot in this scene? So hot in this scene? The confidence? The je ne sais quoi, you know?
He is feeling himself. He's feeling himself for sure.
I can't. This is the same parent that had tummy issues like 4 books ago, and I can't.
All right, listen, some days brave little soldiers have tummy issues, and that does not make them any less
And
brave.
those tummy issues were 6 books ago. Thank you very much, man.
So funny.
We've read so
good.
many books.
All right, AJ, that leaves the last for you. You're headed down to Black Coral.
Black Coral with Nimander, etc. Look, like father, like son, he's just got the big sad. And that's, yeah. I the specifics of this conversation, I do not super recall.
Solara shows up.
Solara does show up. It's like, hey, you're cool. I'll help. And he's like, nah, you shouldn't help me. And she's like, nah, I'm gonna. And like, that's all that is, right? There's not really like...
And, oh, God. How deep in this book do we get before we see Absalar?
Literally.
Right?
Well, Josh, I have a sneaking suspicion that Absalar has moved on to the novels of the Malazan Empire. I have no evidence for that.
There's no way.
It's just
She
been
must
so
come back.
long, and she just kind of disappeared.
Right, but can you imagine?
disappeared.
Can you imagine the good guys win?
Yeah.
What's that? Absalar comes out of nowhere. She goes in for the embrace, stabs Perrin right in the fucking gut. End of book.
Whoa. Hold on, flipping to the back of the book.
All right. Hey, everyone, we're going to quick thank everyone on Patreon, and then we're going to move on to Chapter 2.
This week, we'd love to thank our lovely, super sexy Patreon listeners.
Okay.
That's
Whoa.
right. We've got Brandon, Metro Winter, Patrick, Sandesh, Thomas, and Lil Jimmy.
Thank you all so much for your support. We really appreciate it. Makes the show much more sustainable to do, and we really do appreciate any contributions you'll get. I have finished moving, so look forward to more Patreon content popping up because I have time to edit stuff now. At time of recording, I will be recording a Last of Us, the TV show thing at some point before the end of the week. And that will end up on the Patreon. It'll be a video, so if you want to hear me talk about the Last of Us TV show, become a $3 subscriber or more. But you only have to do $3 to get access to all of our previous Patreon bonuses, including the stuff that is coming up.
And once I go watch the new Scream, I will do an episode on the fact that I watched the first 5 Screams in less than 48 hours.
Hell
and then
yes.
the new one.
Nice.
And thanks for listening. All right, let's get into it. Chapter 2. Tula Shorn walks as an Edur. He finds and speaks with an ancient Talani mask and Skan Al. Rolata listens to Draconis speak with Ubala, and she wants Draconis' sword. They feel Unos Tulan is looking for revenge. Mappo wants to be back with Icarium, and he is interrupted by Gruntle. They speak about the gods of war. Nearby, Faint is trying to sleep. Torrent awakes. Setak finds him and sends somebody is coming. It's Olar Athiel. She approaches the camp and asks for the boy, Tool's son. They refuse and Baljag strikes against her. She rips his spine out and Gruntle tries to strike back. In the end, she takes the boys and the twins. Mappo leaves, devastated by the loss. Sektak talks with Torrent and the camp is dissolving. Cartographer and Setak speak about sacrifice. Asangalani is trailing the bone hunters, and she encounters the Unbound again. They speak about the battle with the Naruk. Bottle wakes up, trying to put together his mind. He realized that Ruthan Gud has been pulling him along, saving him. Quickben receives some gifts, and we hear the sound of a cane on rock. AJ, we have this opening scene with Tula Shorn and this kind of strange Talani mass ruin. What did you make of this kind of interesting scene?
He's back. A character I forgot existed.
Okay, you're not a Shorn head.
Well, I don't know if you recall, we do have a stinger. Josh, a few books ago, said that he was Shorny baby.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
So that stinger just played. It is Austin Powers. So there you go.
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, just refreshing myself because this is okay. This is the one where it's stuck in the sand looking away from a baby or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really weird section. I truly don't know what to make of it.
I'm the same. I was actually hoping you would kind of make sense of it for me.
No, I mean, this Talani Mass is like, I was killed by a Jaghut huntress, and then Tula Shorn walks a little bit and is like, ooh, this is a baby. And the guy's like, turn me around so I can see who cut me in half. And then he's like, are you sure you want me to do that? And so then he does, and the guy screams, and that's it. I don't know. I really like it. It was just like a lot of kind of philosophizing talk about like death and stuff. And then like, oh, I'm sad because I thought a big woman killed me, but apparently it was a baby or something. I really don't know what to make of it.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Well, we'll see if those mysteries unravel, won't we? Josh, with these traveling Relata section, what did you make of this scene, and what did you think of Draconis's insane take on courtship?
Well, I started having some like misgivings on these. There's a lot of sex comedy.
A lot of sex comedy.
A lot of sex comedy, but it's also mixed with like the joke that Ublala's like mentally impaired. So the scenes are a little off for me, but I do love Draconis being quote unquote the sane one and then like consistently just saying batshit crazy things. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, courting is the art of growing like mold on the one you want.
Oh my God, yes, I do love it, and it's 100. I feel it so in my bones.
He paused and scratched at the stubble. Yeah, every time you turn, you see him until his company feels perfectly natural to you. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like that's how it is, Josh?
You know, I feel like I've met a lot of old couples in my life who I think that is how they have ended up. I do not think that is how people should intentionally approach relationships.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I guess that is a way that some people do it.
You mean, Josh, you don't think you should just brute force your way into somebody kind of like dealing with your appearance around them?
Yeah, I'm just saying, why should I have to fix anything about myself? Just like learn to appreciate me.
Because I'm around you all the time.
Exactly.
Because I will not leave.
Yeah. Can I tell you a fun fact? Peter knows a person. I went to school with this person from kindergarten through graduating college with him, and our parents are really good friends, and they put us into every activity together, and we never liked each other. And it's an incredible story of just two incompatible people. And like just as friends, we have just never enjoyed one another's company in our lives. And it is the funniest thing in the world to me that our parents spent fucking 16 years attempting to make it happen.
I always say that about my friends, is that I don't really like spending time around them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a perfectly funny little line. I like the mold thing, but that's not flirting, Draconis. Sounds like Draconis would be a bad flirt, my official opinion.
Oh, 100%. Well,
Draconis applies a lot of pressure.
okay.
Yes.
Draconis' thing is he just hangs around.
Not to say boomers, but my grandparents are 100% together because my pop-op just kept being at places where my mom was until she finally said, fucking fine, we'll go on a date.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
She slapped him multiple times before their first date in public for him being too obnoxious.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's really good. That's really good.
Yeah. Mom and Jenna don't fuck around.
All right, enough of all this. Inge, I would say the main set piece of this whole chapter takes place with this kind of group of travelers around the Trigall Trade Guild carriage and with Mappo and such, and they have this encounter with Alara Thiel. What did you make of this whole scene? It's intense.
Did she kill the wolf?
Baljog? Yeah.
That's pretty fucked up. That was fucked up. And then she took the kids, which was even more insane.
She took the kids.
Why did she take the kids? Why does she want the kids? She's so scary. Do the kids look like bones? The kids don't look like bones, right? They look like kids.
They are
The kids look like kids. Yeah.
Can you imagine seeing this giant skeleton person rip the spine out of something and then be like, and you're coming home with me.
Out of
like,
your dog, your new puppy. It ripped the spine out of your new dog. And you're like, yeah, okay.
It's so horrible. It's so horrible. I hate her. Hate.
You hate Alara Thiel?
Yes.
Josh, what did you make of this whole section here?
I just don't know why we have to traumatize so many kids in these books. You know? And I don't know
like a true
why.
teacher.
I don't know why we just can't have a fun group. All right? This was a fun group back 2 or 3 books ago. Gruntle, Mappo, all the people whose names I've forgotten.
The Trade Guild.
Right?
Yeah.
The Trade Guild. You know, what's her face? Who's now the most depressed. And when does this happen? When do we use the M word with her? Is that in this chapter?
What?
Sorry, what?
No.
What did you just say?
Do we pause? Do we revisit this group again? Or is this no, we don't. This is the scene where we find out that what's her name that the Bowls were in love with, who's sort of able to use magic? Precious Thimble.
Yeah.
Is this the scene where we find out she's a fucking Mybe?
Oh my god.
M word.
M.
Oh, did you think I said M?
Yeah, I was like, I really missed something in this chapter.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't see that word.
Scouring these pages, looking. Holy shit!
Yeah.
The
okay.
M word.
The M word,
Christ.
as we all call it, was we're always saying.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you brought that up, Josh, because I thought that was just like a thing that I was like reading too much into.
No, cartographer called her a Mybe, and like she's like unbeknownst. She does not know that she's going to give up her life for fucking somebody. And so that's depressing. I mean, let me tell you, reading that once sucked, and I didn't think I'd have to do it in the 10th book again.
East woman, that is where you will find all you need. I have touched your soul. I have made it into a Mybe.
That's
a
right.
Vessel that waits.
Yes,
East.
Olar Ethel made her that.
But they spell Mybe differently.
No, they don't. It's always been MHYBE.
No, it has
No,
not.
it's-
In book 3,
What?
it's MHYBE. There is no A.
AJ is correct. You're wrong, Josh.
Wait, so how do they spell it before?
There's no A.
Was there an A in this one?
Yes.
Oh.
That's
I
why
didn't
I was
catch
like,
that.
is this a different thing?
Oh my god. If this is a different thing, I'm going to lose it. I think it's just a bad spelling.
Well, I think it's just because Olar Thiel is really old. And it used
But
to be
it's still the Warren of Talon, dude. It's still the same magic that gave it to fucking Silver Fox.
No, but I'm just saying it used to be spelled differently.
More
1,000
old-
million
More
years
like
ago.
old Arathiel. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks,
All right.
everybody. Thanks for getting into that, Josh and AJ. That was a great bit. India, next we encounter Masan Galani, and she's talking with the Unbound, who I've decided are my second favorite characters after Noto Boil.
Why?
They're just funny. Do you not find them funny?
I do. That's okay.
All right. Okay. Making me feel like an idiot.
No, I can't. No, you're not an idiot.
Okay.
You're an angel.
Stop it.
I like the Unbound. I think they're much better now that they are just goofy skeletons and not like horrific war crime doers.
They are much more fun now that they don't have to be villains. However,
That's funny.
AJ,
That's actually a common trope in anime. I was just watching a video about like yesterday.
Okay,
what is
early arc villains who become power scaled throughout the series and eventually get relocated into more of comedic relief.
AJ, I asked India a question. Okay.
Yeah.
India, which Naruto opening is the best, and why is it Bluebird?
Oh, I wish I remember that funny thing that you guys were saying once and I could say it and we'd all laugh, but
Believe it.
It's literally the last episode.
Man, are we gonna,
For us, though, that was like a month and a half ago. It feels like.
I kind of like the 10 Very Big Books show, but weirdly, the last book they only talked about Naruto and stopped talking about the works of Stephen Erickson.
One of our YouTube comments that I read today actually just said, "Love these guys."
That's it.
Were they talking about Naruto and his friends?
Sasuke? You couldn't name a
Sakura?
single other character if you tried.
Sakura, Sasuke.
Okay, there we go.
There's one called like Rock Thompson or something.
Rock Lee.
Yes.
I was
and
pretty close.
Yeah, and his sensei, Might Guy.
I like Rock Thompson actually. Can we revisit Rock Thompson?
Thompson fucks.
Rock Thompson probably fucks. Judging by the name, Rock gets around. Okay.
Continue.
All right. Last little sections here. AJ, we see Bottle is alive.
Yo, I loved this. This was so cool. Bottle being like, I am a little part of everything. And then he's like, oh, wait, no, I'm just me. I thought that was really cool. That like when Bottle died, quote unquote, because Quick Ben tied a string to him literally or figuratively or to his spirit or soul, whatever. So he was able to come back together. I think it was cool that, we saw Bottle turn into all those things and start dive bombing whatever, at the end of the last book. But, I think it was cool for him to just be a bunch of little pieces and like little memories and stuff. And then to come back to himself and then also to be with Ruth and Good. Great. I love it.
Yeah, it's exciting to see how they move on. And then there is Quick Ben at the end. Josh, we hear the tapping of the cane. What did you make of checking in and seeing that?
Well, first off, I did not fully grasp that Quick Ben died at the end of the last book. It really was not until this one that I was like, oh, whoops. I mean, we don't check in with the Malazan at the end of the last book, so you kind of leave them in the middle of the exactly
just after the battle.
Right. So I was pretty shocked that he was dead, and then I was very not shocked that he was like all according to fucking plan, and that Shadow Throne must be there. If we hear a cane, it's got to be fucking Shadow Throne.
Does Shadow Throne have a cane?
Yes.
Wow. Totally missed that.
Yeah, he can be he has a flair for the dramatic age. I don't know if you know that.
I'm now just imagining Shadow Throne as Mr. Peanut. Let it be noted.
Oh,
hysterical.
That's good.
All right, everyone. We went a little longer than we thought. And I'm not going to lie to you. We're kind of wrapping things up because we're about to record chapters 3 and 4 right now, baby.
Back-to-back recordings. First time ever.
Back-to-back. One of the first time ever. So we're going to see how it goes, but we hope this episode turned out with listenable audio that you could listen and enjoy with your ears. And that's about it. Can you believe it, guys? How do you feel? Book 10.
Book 10.
Book 10.
Book 10.
Book 10.
India?
Book 10.
Thank you.
Yes.
Book 10.
Can that just be the episode tweet? Just book 10 over and over again?
Book 10. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Let us know what you think of the show at 10 Very Big Books on Instagram and Twitter. And we are 10 Very Big Books at Gmail as well. Let us know what you think. And you can please give us a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. Tell your friends if they're trying to read this book.
Tell your friends. And also, do not forget, this summer we are streaming for 10 hours to raise money for charity, the Malazan Stream of the Fallen. We're going to play games. We're going to have guests. And it is going to be...
Wet and Wild.
Dust of Streams.
Oh!
Dust of Streams.
Dust of Streams.
It's going to be a dust of streams. Okay? But in a positive sense.
Thank you.
Because like a dust of dreams is like what they couldn't realize, but like no dust. It's just streams of streams.
I was just going to try to rationalize how the dust would materialize into a stream. And that's what.
And I do just want to share, this is a little bit how production meetings go. This is not that far off from me pitching stuff. All right, everyone. Thank you. When I say come, you say passion. Come.
Passion.
Hello, everybody. Producer AJ there. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you'd like to give us your thoughts or feelings about this or any of our episodes, you can always email us 10verybigbooks@gmail.com, tweet us at 10verybigbooks, or you can head on over to our Discord, bit.ly/VBB Discord. That's capital V, capital B, capital B, capital D. Discord. That link will also be in the show notes. Thank you to all of our wonderful patrons over on Patreon. If you'd like to financially support the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/10verybigbooks. That link will also be in the show notes. And like I said, I'm done moving, so there should be more content up there shortly. And as always, thank you so very much to Dan Gesrick for making our spectacular cover art. You can follow him on Twitter at @A_W_Dan_G for the hottest Bedard takes. Thank you as well to resident tarot card father Scout Wilkinson for the special art she will be providing for this season. You can follow her at twitter.com/humblegoat. And of course, the wonderful music in today's episode, including the remixed intro and outro track, is by the one, the only Amaranthan from his album Simulant Rain, which you can find along with his other music on bandcamp.com. Links to all of their pages will be in the show notes. And 10 Very Big Books will be back in 2 weeks on March 31st, talking about the Crippled God chapters 3 and 4. We'll talk to you then. And thank you so much for listening. I always say that about my friends, is that I don't really like spending time around them.
Yeah.
What an awkward thing to say to your friends, AJ.
Joke's on you. They're
Hey-o.
out here.
Hey-o.
I feel like really that was a rude thing to say. Am I insane?
Peter, it's for the bit.
Sorry, I guess I just like to treat this show with a level of seriousness that apparently my co-hosts are not willing to bring. So I didn't think we were doing a joke. Okay.
If I had more energy editing, and I know I won't have it, I would go back through so many episodes and just pull up like you making like shit and fart jokes and like jerk off jokes.
Okay, AJ,
I want to be very clear. In the first season of this show, did I not learn what edging was?
Wow, was that the first season?
Saying.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Wow. Anyway,
AJ, I hear you, but let me ask you a follow-up question. Can you say you've done it if you've only done hand stuff?
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Disagree.
Listen, no.
Yeah, I'm with India. Wait, I'm with India. I'm with India.
I just wanted the bit to be over, guys.
Yeah, I don't know why